Beautiful people, we are back at it again. I am Miles Bullock, this is Jasmine Claypool, and this is the Last Word Show, where it's not about how you start,
it's how you finish.
Yeah.
Well, this is a bonus episode.
It's special.
We had to do it Diddy style with MTV. You know what I mean?
Diddy style.
Okay, had to get it right. And we're talking all things political.
Oh, yeah.
Because as you know, the United States is in a civil unrest.
Man, it is.
Okay?
Oh.
It's really ugly out here. And we just want to talk about the importance of voting.
Yeah.
We want to get down to the basics.
Yeah.
We're going to take it to History 101.
Okay.
And as you can see, we have somebody here with us, okay?
Yes.
We have Miss Tina McKinnor.
Oh my God,
Man.
Miss Tina McKinnor. I'm gonna let you guys know right here that we are honored to have Miss Tina McKinnor. She's gonna put some stuff in our ears for us to hear. Okay, Miss Tina McKinnor currently serves as the Director of Civic Engagement for LA Voice. Now, Tina, talk to us. Let us know what LA Voice is. Let us know what you're doing. You're also running campaigns. Let us know something.
Well, LA Voice is a multiracial, multi-faith organization. In LA County, the clergy got together and they decided they didn't want to let the Republicans steal faith, maybe about 15 years ago.
The Republicans still faith.
Yeah, because you know, whenever you hear Republicans talk, they're talking about God, and we're about God, and we're about God in the country. Well, the clergy said, no way, we don't want to let these folks kidnap religion. So we organized about 70 congregations across LA County of all faiths.
Wow.
Okay.
Christians, Muslim, Buddhist, Catholic, everybody. Jewish, everybody.
So you basically are protecting religion against government.
Well, we're just advocating.
So most people know, right? What we know about government, and it has broke down into two major parties, Republican and Democrat. So could you talk to us about the distinct differences between those?
Well, right now, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's just like good and bad.
Yeah.
Devil and angel.
Wow.
Bring it down.
Humanity and cray-cray.
Right.
I mean,
and it wasn't even always like that, right? Like there was a time
this
where
is something different.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going to take what's happening now away, and this is when a lot of people like you guys are looking at Republican, Democrat, so you can't even really talk about now. Just we know that bad and good.
Yeah, that's where it is.
It's just simple.
That's true.
Simplified. Yeah.
Bad and
simplified.
evil. But usually you can look at policy. And the kind of policy that the Republicans usually support, they're like, I'm pro-life. I'm against abortion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm law and order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where Democrats, they're pro-life. I'm against the death penalty, and I'm for defunding the police. I'm for Black Lives Matter. That means pro-life to us.
Oh, okay. So the stance.
Pro-life in two different perspectives.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the big difference, because we do believe it's in a woman's right to choose.
Right.
They say that's pro-life. Well, Democrats usually think pro-life is like, I don't believe in the death penalty because we're going to kill more black and brown people, because who do they arrest more? Black and brown people. Who's going to get killed? Black and brown people.
Right. Okay.
We just have to just really grasp that voting affects our money, what we pay for our house, how we pay for insurance, if our kids are going to have good education, how much it takes for them to go to college, like everything.
Los Angeles potholes.
Yeah.
Right.
Potholes.
Right. Which destroys your car.
Which destroys your car.
Shit.
Well, really quickly, I had an interview with our boy Knox. And
Our boy Knox?
Our boy Knox.
Our boy Knox pulled up. What is he talking about?
He's talking about a lot. You'll really be surprised as his whole kind of political outlook on everything. So let's take a look.
Okay, Knox, what you talking about, man?
What's up, Last Word? I am here with Knox, and he told me something that was out of control for me, because I feel like it inspired this episode. So Knox, go ahead and give it to us. What is your voting experience?
So my voting experience is I don't really have one in my adult life. I never voted for anything political or anything like that. No governors, presidents, anything of that nature. I think the last time I voted was probably like in high school for high school prom king or something like that. It just wasn't something that wasn't very important to me at the time.
So let's start from the beginning. Like, why not, bro?
Why not? So I'll take it back to 2008. So 2008, I wanted to vote for Obama in his first term. I wanted to vote for a black president, but I wasn't old enough. Instead I wanted to work at a polling center, and I did. I worked at a polling place in Inglewood, and it was a cool experience. I got to see people, come and place their ballots, and then some people had on their little, political pins, and you're not supposed to wear those. So I had to tell people, you have to take this off before you vote, things like that. And then when his next term came around, I actually wasn't in the state of California. I was on the East Coast, and I wasn't worried about voting at the time. I didn't even know anything about mail-in ballots. And I knew Obama had it. I think it was it against McCain?
Yeah.
The second time McCain, I was like, McCain's an old guy. Obama's gonna win. And then he did, and so I was like, all right, cool, my vote, I thought it didn't matter. Like, all right, I don't have to vote, he's still gonna win.
That's wild that you didn't know about mail-in voting. Like, I know for me, I was in Virginia, and Virginia is a relatively red state, so I did have my mail-in ballot ready to go, but I still registered in Virginia because it mattered to be a Democrat in Virginia. And you always felt like your vote didn't matter?
Yeah, I always felt like it didn't matter. Like, I knew about electoral colleges, and I thought, I learned that in high school, so I figured, they handle it. I think they take the majority of what the people, they take the majority of the votes, and they kind of make a decision, and that's what we go for our state. I think that's what goes on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah. And then when Trump and Hillary I was just like, fuck it. I don't want to vote for either one of them, so I didn't register to vote again. And by then the light was starting to turn on that it is important, and that's kind of like a year later or so,
once you realize Trump's presidency.
Man. So I'm like, I do need to start voting, and now I am registered to vote.
Well, damn. That's something right there. That's something.
Well, now that you met our boy Knox, I feel like Knox kind of has the average person's thought process on voting.
Yeah.
Well, he's funny as shit.
Okay. You take that, Knox. You funny as hell.
You're funny, bro. You're funny.
Yeah.
So with that, what do you say to somebody like Knox?
Yeah.
Well, what I saw was that Trump brought us together. Because I know that this brother is registered to vote now.
Okay.
Knox.
Yeah.
Knox, I know you registered to vote now, Knox. Because Trump is cutting up out there. You are not going to let this election slide. It's no black person that's over 18 going to let this particular election slide because Trump's an asshole. And we got to get him out. Even the Republicans is with us.
Come on.
So come on. But I can say, Knox, please continue to vote on the rest of these elections. Vote all the time. Vote very often. Go to lavote.org. LAfreethevote.org and register to vote if you're not already registered. You say you're registered. Check on your ballot and also apply to be a permanent absentee voter so that no matter where you are, you can always vote absentee. If you leave and your main residence is here in California and you're traveling or working, you want to always be able to vote absentee. I never go to the polls. Going to the polls is overrated, you guys. I know you're young and you just I want to go to the polls. Don't worry about going to the polls. Mail your ballot in and have your day on election day.
These are nuggets. Eat these nuggets.
But I also say to you that you can please go vote because it just affects everything. Yeah. I don't know where you are in life, but it affects your student loan. Joe Biden talked about getting rid of the student loan.
He sure will.
He has said that.
He sure will.
I already stopped paying mine, and I've been having mine for 50 years. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, I'm scared.
But we also do know that this is a time where dreams are sold. Right, this is dream selling time, right? When the election is starting to happen and it's coming up, and people are starting to go vote, and they're selling their biggest dreams and saying what can happen. Can you just real quickly a little bit on the likelihood of those things happening and how long it takes for things to actually happen?
Well, first of all, once you guys vote, don't stop voting, and then continue your advocacy. If you guys want these student loans squashed, when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win, start write their asses all the time. Just make it a habit.
Dear Kamala, I want this to go away.
Just write them. Do the same campaigns you guys have been doing. You guys have been driving this country since they murdered George Floyd. Young people have been driving it. So your power. You guys have the power to make all this come true. But it probably would take about a year for them to enact that policy. democracy.
Well, I think that Knox brought up a great point about going into the smaller voting and the smaller ballots and the smaller campaigns. But to do a further breakdown, I feel like we need to go back to the basics. You know, we need to go back to the three branches of government, how it's the legislative, how it's the executive, and it's the judicial, right? With the legislative, we have the Congress and the Senate that make the House of Representatives, right? Mm-hmm. Then we got the judicial, which is our vice president and our president, right? And then we have that's the executive, excuse me. The executive, okay, is president and vice president.
Okay, she got it.
I got it right.
True.
The judicial, okay, is going to be the Supreme Court and all the other federal courts.
Right.
Boom, like that, ta-da,
You know what I'm saying? Ta-da! You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So basically, so basically what happens go like this, okay? So the legislative branch makes the laws.
Okay.
Okay. The executive branch reviews the laws. Okay. And then the judicial branch passes them on. Or says hell no.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much. So the legislative branch, the House and the Senate pass the laws. They're the ones that could change the Constitution, like amendments.
Right.
And those are the ones that happen every 2 years?
They happen you can vote for Congress every 2 years.
Boom.
Every two.
So if we didn't have a Democratic Congress, right, we wouldn't have even been able to impeach him. But and what the Congress does when I say impeach him, they're like the DA. Okay. They looked at him and they said we could charge him. Well, we found out we could charge him on the other show that we did. We found out.
Shout out to Total Perspective.
Total Perspective. We had enough evidence to charge him back then, right?
We did 4 years ago.
So they were like, okay, we can charge him. So that's the power that the Congress and the Senate, and they can also declare war.
The House of Representatives.
Yes, they can. They can vote to declare war and take us to war.
Okay.
So that's what their power is. And then you have the president. So the executive branch, the president, their big power is they appoint Supreme Court justices.
Right.
And the Supreme Court justice is there for the rest of their life. So if you appoint me at like 40.
And we just lost a Supreme Court.
RGB. Like a gangster. We just lost a gangster, you know?
Yeah.
Fighting for all kind of
everything.
And so he wants to replace her with someone very conservative and very young who would be on the Supreme Court for the rest of her life. And nobody can't fire her. So that's the power that the Supreme Court has. And that they can't be fired. The president appoints them, but they can't fire them. And the person that could fire the president is the Senate.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So
wait, the Senate can fire the president. Okay.
So that's why and they run every 4 years.
Okay. So the Senate is with the presidential elections, correct?
The U.S. Senate is now Republican. That's what you mean.
No. She's saying as far as voting, when to vote for the Senate, you vote for the Senate the same time you do the presidential election.
Yeah, they're up. So half of them are up. They're like staggered years. So this year, half of the country's U.S. senators will be up, and then in 2 years, the other half will be up.
See, there's so much you have to be on top of. You have
to
be on top of this shit. You got to know this, or else it'll just fly by and you'll not know what happened.
And it matters who's there.
Yeah.
Because look at Trump. Now for the rest of our lives and the rest of you guys' lives, you'll be able to tell your kids, look, it matters who's in president, because let me show you and tell you about this guy Trump. Crazy town.
Man, it's a lot. Okay, so we got through that. Now let's talk about another facet of what Knox was talking about, which was the electoral votes, the electoral college, right? The fact that somebody can win the popular vote, but they still lose the election. Break it down.
So the electoral college, it is actually like districts. It's in favor. It helps African Americans win elections, you guys. You know, but when you look
if we lose it properly. Okay, now.
So the electoral votes, when you look at a city, let's break it down to the city. So when you have a city like LA, they have districts.
Okay.
If I ran Tina McKinnor, it's a black woman. LA citywide, it would be very difficult for me to win because white people vote. Right. And they vote in every area. Even they're now living here in our community.
Tea Park area.
And so they vote. Right. And so then it becomes very hard for us to win. So what ended up happening with affirmative action and making sure that we had representation is we start having districts. And that way we can block out a district of our community of people who can vote for us. And then we have someone that can represent us. So that's kind of how the Electoral College is. It's state by state. So when they say Hillary ran the popular vote, they mean like if you took all the votes of everybody in the United States and put them together, she won 50% plus one votes.
Right.
But the electoral votes is state by state. So when you win California, you get California's 16 electoral votes.
Right.
When you win Texas, you get Texas 15 electoral votes.
So if you win those big states that have a higher population, the numbers are going to be inflated. That's why the numbers are inflated, because it's going to seem like you have more people that voted for you, but you really just won that one state.
You just won that one
state. Doesn't really matter the number of people.
States like California, Texas, Florida, New York.
Those
Those are the big states that really have those electoral, where they have the most electoral.
Well, you want to get all of them, as many of them as you can, right?
Right.
So that's why you can't. That is how Hillary didn't win. Also, that's the kind of strategy she had. And you know what? You can't do that. You have to go out and you have to talk to everybody. You got to talk to every state. You got to talk to everybody. You can't say, this community is already going to vote for me. So that's why black people feel abandoned too by Democrats too, because they take our vote for granted.
Right.
And I don't know I know that none of you probably watched the Republican convention, but it was hilarious. I tossed one up and watched it. And they had more black people than I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Really?
But you don't think that they're paying? So what about the corrupt aspect of the government? Do you deal with that more?
Yes, of course.
I'm saying.
Look, I've sued the Democratic Party and won.
Oh,
so I know what corruption looks like. That'll be our next time.
Boom! That was an
that.
explosion. That
That's
was
crazy.
I was not expecting you to drop that bomb just now.
So so you
there's ton of corruption.
But you drop that bomb, you sue them and win, and then still
You're voting Democratic Party?
and still pushing that
But
shit.
I'm not voting a party. I'm voting a person. So I have two people up in front of me.
Okay.
And when you have an interview, when you guys are hiring for your show, people to work on your show,
Yeah.
you have two candidates and you pick the best candidate. Well, I'm picking the best candidate, and that would be Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm not saying that Joe Biden's the win-all, but Trump?
Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Okay.
What you gonna find?
Okay. Well,
But when we go, you talked about local government.
yes.
So Knox said local government. So your city councils are very important. Your school boards are very important. The reason why a lot of young people don't know about all these things is they've just taken politics and government out of the schools.
Yeah,
so we need you guys to run for school board. It's a smaller seat. You run for school board, we can start changing the curriculum so we could teach our kids how to invest, how to save, how to do banking, about government.
Eat these nuggets.
It's not even hard. Like boom, but we want it to rain. Am I
these
sounding
nuggets.
like
Yeah, you can make it rain. Make it rain. Make it rain.
So we want to teach our children that, but we need y'all
To be
run
on
in
school
and be
board.
on the school boards.
Eat
So
this.
that way we can change the curriculum to where we can have those things of, sewing and cooking and having working on the car.
Doing things with our hands.
Doing things with our
Having
hands,
knowledge,
having
you know
U.S.
what I
government
mean?
and breaking down what that means. Wow. So it's all just depends on those smaller votes that he was talking about.
Yeah, those smaller
Positions
districts.
and
Think
districts.
about DA.
district. Yeah.
Okay,
district
DA
attorney.
is
Know
like
that.
the shit, y'all.
Yeah.
When those DAs walked out after George Floyd got murdered, and those DAs walked out there and said, we don't have enough evidence. See, they needed their ass whipped,
Period.
right?
Yeah.
We got to replace them.
Yeah.
That's
We got to
how it
go
works.
through the country and start replacing these DAs. Because the DAs is the people who say who gets charged and who don't. And that's an elected position.
It is an elected position.
Well, now that we know that we do have to get involved,
Yeah.
we do have to get into those positions, and we do have to go into those smaller elections. Besides that, I know one of the things that I'm very confused about are the propositions. I see all types of text messages, all types of commercials. No one brought
What's
21.
yes? What's no? What does no mean?
What does that
yes
mean?
If I say no, does it go? If I say yes, is that what is what?
What?
Okay.
So Miss Tina, if you could take a moment to kind of put some important propositions that are on the table for us.
Bring some ease to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about two propositions that brings money directly to LA County.
Talk about it.
The first one is Proposition 15.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all, the NAACP is saying no on it, which means that Black Lives Matter should be saying yes. Let's just put that out there. I'm sorry.
Wait, slow it down. Go bring it back. Bring it back.
Moving through it like that. Damn.
Wait, what?
Huh?
I could not believe that the NAACP is saying no on Proposition 15. So you young folks don't follow the whole rule of this. Don't follow the older people on NAACP because the head of the NAACP in California is a consultant.
Okay, before we get on to why, let's talk about what the proposition.
So I'm just telling you guys, that's the commercials you're seeing out there. You're seeing no on 15. It's yes on 15 because Proposition 15 will close a loophole for corporations on their property taxes in the state of California. Places like Disneyland, they're still paying 1970 property taxes. Where I would say your parents are probably paying more taxes on their home than Disneyland is paying on their property. Because Proposition, they have a corporate loophole that states that your property taxes only increase when you sell your property. Well, if I'm a private owner and I sell my property to you, of course, when you buy it, if I bought it at $168,000, which is what most of my generation bought our houses for, and you could sell it for $800,000, the person that buys it for $800,000 is now going to start paying property taxes at $800,000.
Right.
Where in a corporation, they never change hands like that. They just change stockholders and board members, and so they never change hands, and so they're still paying 1970 property taxes. And when this happened, our whole education system started to hurt in the state of California because
and let's
now we don't have money
real
for
quick.
that.
Disneyland is a cool 150 to walk up in there.
To walk
each,
in.
At 5.
And it comes with no meal ticket.
That's
There's not a meal
$150
ticket
per person.
Just
And
to
you gotta
walk
pay
in
for
and
parking.
breathe the Disney air. Shit.
You gotta pay for parking.
And that's the same type of shit of where the NFL is a nonprofit. You know what I'm
Where
saying?
the
Shit
NBA
like
is a nonprofit.
NBA,
They got
wow.
Okay, so what is it? Yes on Prop what?
So yes on Proposition 15.
15.
It's going to bring $4 billion back to LA County every year. $4 billion. So let's just imagine what $4 billion does. It helps us build schools. It helps us with parks. It helps with senior centers. It helps get stuff. Remember, well, you guys don't remember this, but back in the day when I was coming up, a teenager that parents made a certain amount of money, they can go and do the summer work program, and we can hire them and the government pay.
Okay, so real quick, can you give me a one sentence answer on why the NAACP wants to vote no on this?
Because the president is a consultant for no on Prop 15. Wow.
So he's getting
Go
paid.
She.
Oh!
Say the word. I'm speaking the truth now. Sorry. I'm speaking the truth now.
Okay. All right.
And so I want to make sure. So yes, let's go. Yes on Proposition.
That's that corrupt shit we
That's
talking
that
about.
corruption
I'm
y'all
sorry. I'm
talking
trying to contain myself. That's the
It's
corrupt
so
shit.
much. It makes my brain itch, and I can't even scratch my brain.
So where we are now is we can't afford not to be quiet, right? So that's where I am now in life. I'm not going to afford to be quiet. I'm going to speak the truth. So we're going to go yes on Proposition 15.
Okay.
What's the second
$4
one?
billion, and then we have Measure J. Measure J. You guys are directly the young people and y'all folks that was out protesting. You guys made this happen.
Wow.
Because the people out the young folks that were out there in LA County protesting and holding the city council and the LA County Board of Supervisors accountable. While you guys were protesting, we in the nonprofits were back in the back door negotiating. So Measure J takes 10% of the unrestricted general budget of LA County and put it in services. And when I say services, I mean recidivism programs. So mental health programs, so that when we call the cops not showing up. It's a mental health professional that's showing up. Real programs. It goes back into the schools. Programs that we are missing. So think about if we pass yes on 15, that's $4 billion. 10% of that, $4 billion, will go to programs that help Black and brown people directly. So your vote in LA County is huge this time.
What is the call to action? How do people do it? What do they need to do? What websites do they need to look at? How do we stay abreast?
So they need, if you go to lafreethevote.org, all the information about voting is on that website.
It'll be here.
How you fill out your ballot, what, our recommendations. You can check and see where your ballot is if you haven't received it yet. You can register to vote. You can find out where's your nearest polling center. So I would say as soon as you get your ballot, fill it out, mail it in, or take it to your voting center. And if you go to lavoice.org, you can get the faith recommendation, the humanity recommendation on these propositions, because seriously, it's about being human and voting for the stuff that can help our people.
Come on, talk about that.
Now with that, my ballot came in the mail. This is what the ballot is going to look like, ladies and gentlemen. This is the breakdown of all of our propositions. It's going to be in this book. Please do not throw these two things away. You do not want to go and stand in those long lines with your masks on to go and vote. Just do this. As soon as you get this, please just vote.
I hope I didn't throw mine away on accident with the junk mail. You know what happens? If you like me, don't.
These are the two important things that y'all need to look for.
But if you throw it away, go to your nearest voting center. Go to lafreethevote.org. Find your nearest voting center. Go in and ask for a provisional ballot.
Provisional ballot.
For help.
And how soon should we cut it? Like, I saw something where it was like, the president said it has to be 14 business days for it to cycle in the USPS, which means by October 20th, it should be in the mail.
Yes, if you don't, October 19th is the last day to register to vote.
Okay.
After that, you could actually go into the voting centers and register and vote in the same day.
All in the
right
now.
Right away.
Let's get it done.
You can do it right now.
No excuse.
Let's go ahead and do it right now.
So what's the Tina McKinnor's call to action? Tell the people, talk to the people. This is your.
My call to action to you young people is to get involved. You don't need to join a dim club because we're not doing this party shit. That shit doesn't work. I tried it. It doesn't work. Okay. You're going to organize yourself like you've been doing. You guys don't need a party to tell you what to do. Organize yourself. Get behind progressive people that work for the community. And I'm not progressive doesn't mean you hate business, because we need business. You guys are business people yourself. But things that are going to help your community, and huddle up and pick out which one of y'all going to start running and come see Tina McKinnor.
Because she going to be your campaign manager. She going to take care of you.
You feel me?
Pull up.
Pull up for real.
She going to take care of your campaign because she's a campaign manager. Okay?
Y'all. I mean,
I don't like.
What else?
There's
nothing else to be said.
There really is nothing.
Everything we said. Eat these nuggets she gave y'all. She gave y'all some real nuggets. Eat it. You eat it. Take it.
You spend all day on the phone anyhow.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Come on
now. Damn it.
Come on.
Listen, y'all. This was the Last Word Show.
Where it's not about how you start.
It's how you finish. Follow us on all platforms. Do it now.
We appreciate you.
Peace.
And if you don't vote, you're sus.
Hey, vote or you're sus.
Vote or you're sus.
Sus means suspect.
And we out.
Okay, we gotta keep up the freestyle.
Okay. Come on. Come on. Look. We got a special episode of The Last Word where we gonna talk about some voting. You heard? What is the word on the Repub or the demo dub?
Hey, red or blue? I ain't got no clue. What you gonna do? I ain't voting for you.
Hey. Ooh, we got Tina. Hey. Oh, she gonna put some shit up in your head.
Hey.
She gonna make you vote a song.
Hey.
Cause you best not do none.
Hey.
Come on.
Look.
Let's work with it.
gonna vote. We gonna vote. We gonna vote. We gonna vote. We gonna vote.